All right, welcome back to Midwestern Samoan. Today I just wanted to go over some examples of pronouns because that can get a little tricky because we have so many for so many different things, right? So, and I'm just following along with the digital download. It's called Pronouns. It's in the Midwestern Samoan store. You can find the link in the bio. And I'm just going to go over a few of them and how to a simple way and a simple formula to use them, right? To use them in a sentence. So let's start. So I have some that I wrote down here. So you have, I guess I can write. So you have, that's terrible. And then you two, and I'll explain them. They 3 plus. Okay, so these are just some examples, right? You have au, and then in parentheses you have o, right? And they both mean I or me, right? And then you have olua, and then parentheses lua. They both mean you too, meaning exclusively the two people you're talking to. That's olua or lua. And then ilato or lato, and that's they, exclusive of you, the speaker, and exclusive of the person that you're talking to, or you're talking about they, ilato, like, or lato, like people who are like not there or in the conversation, right? So I'm going to draw a little diagram, and you can find more in-depth diagrams and a better table in the digital download found in the Midwestern Sāmoa store under pronouns. And so, but this is just a few of the examples. I just wanted to go over in depth more of like how to use them, right? So you have these. So these are my examples today: au, olua, and ilato. So the parentheses is what you would probably call like the short form. And then if like even in au and o, when you think about it, that's, even though it's the same amount of letters, it's shorter because it's less syllables. So that's a good way to remember it, right? So we'll go over how to use those, but I'm just gonna give you a quick diagram with my artistry skills, right? So gonna have the guy talking, right, with an arrow to someone else, and we'll have him talking to two people, right? Hey, how's it going? Right? And then like some other people over here, right? It has to be 3 or more because lato is referring to 3 or more people, right? So you have the guy talking here, right? That's gonna be like in reference to himself, au, right? Or o. So that's au, o. And then these two guys here he's talking to, that's gonna be in reference to him, like to speaking to them, that's going to be olua, because there's 2 of them, lua. If it was 3 or more, a bonus, oto, right? So that would be oto, or the short form to, right? Or oko, or ko, right? So, but it's 2, so olua and then lua, right? And then these guys over here, all the way over here, they're not in the conversation. So not being in the conversation, exclusive of the conversation, and there's 3 or more of them, there would be ilato or lato. Now, these forms here, like in a sentence, right? So we're just gonna use, there's, in the Sāmoan language, to speak like in the past tense, or to make verbs past tense, future tense, or even present tense, right? You wanna have, instead of changing the word itself, like I read the book, meaning like now, or I read the book, right? So we changed the way we say the word. For Sāmoa, we don't change the way we say the word. We add tense indicators. So for now, we're gonna go over present tense, right? So a couple of the present tense, and that would be, let's go. I don't want to erase. So here's your tense indicators up here at the top. You have e and te, okay? And then let's use an action, a verb, right? Let's an easy one, right? Let's go with, I mean, it's a little bit complicated only because for plural, it's changed a little bit, right? So yeah, we're gonna use it anyways because it's commonly used, right? So here's our verb, alu, that means to go, okay? Now we'll go with the full version of the plural, which is down here. That's oatu, right? So that's your plural to go, that's your singular to go, and here's your tense markers up here, e and te, all right? So hopefully you're following here. All right, so let's go. Man, I should have made more room. Like, all right, hold on. Okay, I'm gonna rewrite this so I can make some room here. Oh, geez. Okay, so while I do that, so for the plural of to go, you the oatu, that's the that's the technical way to say to go, plural. But let's see here. But like 99% of the time, you'll just hear people say "oh," right? So it's like tato wo, right? Tato. So we talked about a'u, olua, and lato. Tato means it's inclusive of everybody. Everybody that's there, that's so oh, and then what did I say? Olua, right? You two, right? And that's gonna be olua. Hopefully you can read my handwriting. And then they, three or more, is gonna be ilato. Okay. A lot of times, even with ilato, people won't use the e a lot of times in very casual language, but technically that's how it is. And I like going over like, hey, this is the grammatically like school correct whatever, right? So I just find that when I teach people and they know the like the details of it, it just gives us more confidence to use the language, right? Okay, so we have the e and te, right? Those are, so here's your head, smaller, right? Hopefully you can read that. I, me, a'u, and the short form o, and you two, like meaning the you two that I or me is talking to, olua and lua, right? You two. And then these guys way out here that are not even in the conversation, there's three of them or more, there would be ilato or lato, right? Now I put outside of parentheses and I put te in the parentheses for a reason. Commonly, when you use the short form, you would use it with te, like normally, right? And then the long form you would use with e. Remember, these are your tense markers, and we talked about alu and oatu, right? So we'll just stick with that, right? And we'll just make a sentence using these pronouns, right? And then let's go with another word we can say like they're going to somewhere, right? And if you're going to somewhere, right, to a place, a common noun, you would use e for to. I'm just putting stuff all over this board. Like I said, so this part right here, the te, the to, this is not necessarily like gone in depth in the digital download. It's used in sentences, right? You'll see examples of the pronouns being used in sentences, but the pronoun is more informational about what pronoun goes with what group or person, right? So this is a more in-depth look at the use of pronouns, right? In like a sentence. So e, and you use that like to, right? That's preposition, right? Preposition to. So in a sentence, if I'm saying, I go to the store, right? And let's write that down too, right? Store. If you know what store is, then you can say it out loud. Faleoloa, right? Or faleoloa, right? And so it literally means a house of goods, like merchandise, goods, or loa. Like I used to think like why would we call it like falefatau, like meaning like the place to buy, right? Or whatever, but no, it's the place of goods, faleoloa, right? So if you want to say, let's use, let's go, I go to the store, right? So normally I would say, right? I would say, o te alu I le faleoloa. So you have o te alu I le faleoloa. So you see how I use the short form o for I, right? And then I use that with te. So I use that, I guess I can put them in parentheses just so we can get that reference, right? We have the short form o right here, I, o, te, right? Alu. And I like to keep the tense markers for the verbs like next to each other in the beginning, like try to be consistent in that, just so we can get used to it, right? Because you don't have to all the time have the tense markers be right next to the verbs, but it's just easier when you're first learning, right? Just to keep them together, right? O te alu I le faleoloa. So I presently go to the store, okay? Now the other way you can say that using the long form, I would start it with e alu au I le faleoloa. E alu au I le faleoloa. Right? Same thing. They both mean the same thing. Right? It's just using different forms of the tense marker and the different form of the pronoun. So you see how that works? E alu au I le faleoloa, o te alu I le faleoloa. Both mean the same thing, just used differently, right? I know. So let's do the same thing with like you too, right? For the olua, right? So here's the nice thing is, right? All you have to do, I'm not writing it down. We're just gonna go over it, right? Instead of o te alu ile faleoloa, you could say la or olu. Oh yeah, olua, olua, right? Olua te alu. Oh, not alu. Olua te o atu ile faleoloa, right? So we just moved. We just instead of o, we said. Oh dang it! It's o. I mean lua. So you have lua, the short form, right? Lua te o atu. Lua te o atu ile faleoloa. So you have the short form of you to lua, and then you use it with te. So it becomes before the te. That's the other thing. The short form, it comes before the verb. So that's a pretty hard fast rule. If you use the short form, you use it before the verb. If you use the long form, you use it after the verb. Okay? So there's that too. Right? So those are just good a good rule of thumb to follow. So you have lua te o atu ile faleoloa. Lua te o atu ile faleoloa. Now here's the crazy thing, like that sounds weird, right? Saying like you two go to the store, right? Normally, like that would be a question. Like it just sounds weird just to say it as a statement. So like because hey, you two going to the store? You know what I mean? That's and if you say it in like a questioning tone, right? See what I mean? Like you two are going to the store? Does that make sense? You two go to the and it's funny because it reminds me of pigeon, and it makes me wonder if like that's where pigeon comes from, because I feel like Hawaiian is set up like similarly. I don't know like any Hawaiian really, but like I'll hear like some like Hawaiian and like I don't know, I'll just hear something and be like, oh man, that sounds like we might, like I feel like we have a few of the same words even. So yeah, but you know how Hawaiian pigeon is like, so in this it's like even with the lua te o atu ile faleoloa. Lua te o atu ile faleoloa, like that literally comes out translates to you two go to the store, right? You two go to store. I don't know, it sounds like pigeon to me. Yeah, hey, you go store, right? Like short, right? So that's, I don't know. So lua. So when you're talking to people and you're using like lua, you know, I feel like those are usually going to be in like question form, because it sounds weird to be like, hey, you go, you know what I mean? Like it's almost like commanding someone to go, but you would say that even if you were commanding them to go, you say that differently. So maybe we'll do that in another video. So let's use the long form for that, right? So you would have e o atu, right? Because it's plural, because we're using olua. E o atu olua ile faleoloa. E o atu olua ile faleoloa. And again, that sounds more like a question to me, right? Presently you go to the store. You know what I mean? E o atu olua ile faleoloa. So there. So that's how you'd use it even there. So with this, you know, you can use this structure even with they, like talking about these guys. So here's the guy talking, and he's talking to these guys here and talking about them. So he would say like in lato instead of o, right? Lato te o atu ile faleoloa. So that is like, it's like you can state that lato te o atu ile faleoloa, right? They they go to the store, right? Lātou, right? Lātou te o atu I le whale loa. Or you can say it again in the long form. E o atu I lātou I le whale loa. E o atu I lātou I le whale loa. Right? E o atu I lātou I le whale loa. So again, you have the e, you have the verb, then you have the tense marker, the verb, and then you have the subject, right? And then they're going to the object. So there, that's the simple way to use the pronouns, and that's the difference between these long forms and these short forms. The biggest difference is to know that the long form comes after the verb, right? So here's your long form here, right? Boom. And here's your verb. So it comes after the verb, right? And here you have the I, and here's your verb over here, and you have the te in between, but you come before the verb. So short form, parentheses, comes before the verb. Long form comes after the verb, right? So there's your, again, you can follow along, and you'll find more examples of these long forms and short forms of the pronouns, and even a better picture. Actually, literally better pictures. Right? You know what? In fact, I'll show you. Like, and they're color coded, and I just see here. Like, I don't know if you guys can see this, but so there's your pictures, and so the blue goes with the him, her, right? The green goes with, see how it's lātou, like, so these are the exclusive ones, exclusive of the speaker, and the person spoken to, right? So you have all these people that are exclusive of those two that are speaking, and it goes over those pronouns and uses them in a sentence. So there, that gives you a better picture, literally better picture. In the Midwestern Sāmoan store, you can find that, and other digital downloads to follow along. So if you have any questions, comment below. If you want more videos like this, just comment, like it, and all that good stuff. So, whakatailawa, yeah, toi whiloai.